Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to cover must be true, and this is going to be the strong variety, okay? And I'll show you how you can distinguish the difference between a strong and a soft or a weak must be true. All right, so let's get started. So you can find this on Preptest 10, Section 2. So when I refer to Section 2, I'm referring to the second part of the logical reasoning in the test, okay, on the LSAT. Logical reasoning number 22. Okay, so it starts off, only an expert in some branch of psychology could understand why Patrick is behaving irrationally. But no expert is certain of being able to solve someone else's problem. Patrick wants to devise a solution to his own behavioral problem. Okay, so now the prompt. Which one of the following conclusions can be validly drawn from the passage? First of all, there's two key words here. Keyword number one, conclusion. So you know you're bringing something to the party as opposed to an assumption question where you're adding a premise or an assumption to the argument, which would make it the right answer. With a must be true, we're coming up with a conclusion or an inference or a deduction. And then secondly, we know this is a deductive argument because it says validly drawn. So every time you see the word valid, you know you're dealing with a deductive argument versus an inductive, because in inductive, we're dealing with strong or weak. That's how you evaluate the criteria for an inductive argument. For deductive, it's either going to be valid or invalid. Binary. Remember that, guys? All right. If you have any questions regarding valid, invalid, deductive, inductive, take a look at my logical reasoning tutorial. The gist. All right. So let's hack this apart and let's see what we have. Okay, so premise one, only an expert in some branch of psychology could understand why Patrick is behaving irrationally. All right, so only basically is a synonym for the word then. Okay, it's also a synonym for the word required. It's also a synonym for the word must. So every time you see that, you know you're dealing with a necessary condition, right? And the necessary condition, when we diagram, goes on the right hand side. So that's why we put expert on the right hand side. And then Patrick behaving irrationally, we can abbreviate that to say PBI, Patrick behaving irrationally. All right, so we're done with that. And remember, always draw the contrapositive. So not expert, not PBI. All right, so let's go to premise two. Premise two, but no expert is certain of being able to solve someone else's problem. All right, guys. So the word no, remember, no is functionally the same as the word none. So no negate the necessary. So no negate the necessary. That's the mnemonic device you want to remember. Okay, so expert, arrow, not SP, which stands for someone else's problem. Solve someone else's problem. Okay, we abbreviate this whole thing. All right, so let's put them together and let's see what we have. So premise 1 and 2, PBI, arrow, E, expert. Then expert it looks like we could hook it on to premise 2, expert, arrow, not SP. So that means that Patrick behaving irrationally, then he's an expert. If he's an expert, then he cannot solve his own problem, basically. Let's see what we have here now. All right, let's do the whole translation, okay? So the translation would be basically PBI to E to not SP. And of course, we can draw the contrapositive, which is SP, not E, expert, and arrow, not PBI. All right. So let's see what we have now. All right, so now we can chain them together, and this is what we have here. PBI, E, not SP. And then, of course, the contrapositive, which is the same thing. All we did was we flipped and negate. So when we flip this whole thing and we negate it, we get SP, not expert, not PBI. And, of course, we can say anything along this arrow, guys. Okay, we can go transitive property, PBI, not SP. Or you can say SP, not PBI. Okay, so those things are all something that you can validly draw. Okay, those are called transitive property. So let's get to the answer choices. All right, so let's see. Patrick, A. Patrick does not understand why he is behaving in this way. All right, let's see. Patrick does not understand why he's behaving this way. We know nothing about this, okay? Because we only know that Patrick is behaving irrationally, but we don't know if he can solve his own problem. So A is completely out, okay? B, Patrick is not an expert in psychology. So let's take a look here. If Patrick is behaving irrationally, He's an expert in psychology. He's an expert, and he cannot solve his own problem. So this is out also. So now C, Patrick is not certain of being able to devise a solution to his own behavioral problem. Let's see if that's true. So if he's certain to be able to solve his problem, then he does not understand why he's behaving irrationally. So this is wrong. C is wrong. So D, unless, so guys, unless, I haven't covered unless with you yet. That's something that I will deal with when we talk about logical operators, non-standard logical operators. Unless, basically you translate it as if not. So unless Charles is an expert in some branch of psychology, Charles should not offer a solution to Patrick's behavioral problem. All right, so let's see. So unless Charles is an expert in some branch of psychology, so we can translate this to say, if Charles is not an expert in some branch of psychology, Charles should not offer a solution to Patrick's behavioral problem. So let's see. If Charles is not an expert, so if he's not an expert, then he should not offer solution. Well, we don't know that. That's going against the arrow. Okay, guys? That's the fallacy, the converse. If he's not an expert, then he should not offer any solution. We don't know that. Okay, so let's take a look at E. If Charles is certain of being able to solve Patrick's behavioral problem, so that's what we have here. He's able to solve SP, then, which signals to us that's a necessary condition, then Charles does not understand why Patrick is behaving in this way, and that's correct. If he is able to solve Patrick's problem, which is the contrapositive here, then we also know that he does not understand why Patrick is behaving irrationally, which is equivalent to Patrick behaving in this way. He does not understand. So that's what we have here, guys. This is nothing more than the transitive property. Okay, that's like saying A to B, B to C, then we can say A to C. That's exactly what this is. Okay, so the right answer is basically given to us in the contrapositive form. All right, congratulations. QED, we proved this argument. All right, guys, so don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.